So he did all of this. He displayed his riches. He displayed all that his kingdom, had to offer. He displayed those things. And then after he was done displaying, he now dedicated 7 days, right, to feast, 7 days to throw a party, 7 days to throw a banquet, right, in his palace. And this banquet was both for the rich and the poor. So there was no selection. It wasn't just for the rich or just for the royalty. So as he was doing this thing, Queen Vashti was also doing the same in her own queen's chamber. So she also was throwing a banquet for the women, right? So he was throwing for the men, she was throwing for the women, both the rich and the poor, the high and the low. So everyone was allowed to come and participate and enjoy themselves. So during this process, on the last day, the 7th day, he now sent for Queen Vashti. He sent his eunuchs, that's like the royal attendants, right? He sent them to Queen Vashti. The instruction was for her to come. Now, she throwing party was according to the laws. So she was actually performing her duty as a queen. I need you to understand that. So she actually was doing the job of a queen, right? So he now sent for her. He wanted to display her beauty as well. He wanted to show off, right? Because the Bible explains that she was so good to look upon. She was fair. So when his royal attendants went, Queen Vashti refused to come. And remember, it was feasting. The high and the mighty and the low, the poor were all there. So it was a slap on his face. It was dishonoring to him as a king. But she failed to understand that this was a responsibility for her at that point. Or I don't know, maybe she forgot or she was tired, from organizing. You know how it can be, it's not easy, right? Maybe she flipped it. At that point, she was thinking it's her husband. Since it's her husband, now, it's your husband, he wants to see you. You can do 1 or 2 shakara, you can refuse to go, right? Maybe that was what she was thinking. He was angry, he was furious, he was disappointed, he was embarrassed. Now, in their kingdom, how they do things, a king have to consult his members before he takes actions, right? So he now has to ask them, what should he do in such a situation? And do you know what these men said? This is not allowed. She should be dropped down from that position of being what? A queen. If not, other women, both the rich and the poor, will learn from her behavior if they let it slide. And then her position should be given to who? Another. That was it. So you see how honor plays a huge role as a wife. Especially when you are in public. This is a king that we didn't hear any story of him maltreating her, of him beating her up, of him abusing her. So the fact that he even invited the high and the low, right, to his banquet tells you something about this king. He was a man of honor. right? So her duty, aside to the king, her duty to her husband is also that of honor. So that was where Queen Vashti missed it. Honor to your husband is not slavery. What if Queen Vashti were to be sick? I'm sure they wouldn't have taken such they wouldn't have taken such decision against her. If she were sick, she would have said, "Oh, I am down, I cannot come, my king." Right? But she did a total rejection. What she did was a total insubordination. And in the presence of these other women who hold highly the king. So there's one thing that is common with women, right? We tend to look down on our husbands. Why? Because, like I always say, because of see finish. But we need to know when to separate, when you need to act as a queen and when you need to act as that baby girl. You are in public place with your husband, maybe with his friends or maybe with his family, and then the next thing you start talking down on your husband. Look at how he's even looking. Look at how you are even talking. Look at how you are even eating. You might be right? You might be right. You might have those flaws, but saying it in the presence of those people is dishonor. Is dishonor. It might be that you are talking down on him to your family members, to your siblings. Don't you think that when you do so, they will take it a step further? They will dishonor him even more. And that was what the kings, the royalties decided to take. So that example for Queen Vashti was set to teach other women that even if your husband is poor, even if your husband is rich, you cannot dishonor him because he is the head of the home. Now we can relate it to our everyday marriages now. Your husband might not be a physical king, right? That you will say when you dishonor him, the followers or the citizens, right, would follow suit. Your children in your house, right? Your children in your house are the followers. Your children in the house, your relatives that come to the house, your friends that come to the house are the people that would learn how to treat your husband based on how you treat him. So honor your husband. He is your king. Honor him in private and in public. There are ways to say something that hurts, right? But you will say it in a soothing way. I know it's not easy. But we are not here to sugarcoat. Submission for a woman has never been easy, and that is why God gave it to you as a woman to lay it. So long as you have chosen that man as your head, so long as you said I do to that man, he automatically becomes your head. That is why I always say to singles, choose wisely. Don't rush in the choice of a life partner. No man will put a gun on your head and tell you to marry him by force. So who you end up with is your choice. you end up as your husband, as your Lord, as your king, as your master was your choice. So you chose him because you know he was capable to lead you. Do you understand? So you saw that he's capable to head you. And so you submitted your head. So there are lots of women today dishonoring their husbands like Queen Vashti did. That is wrong. Now, you can't not honor by your flesh. You cannot. You need the grace of God to help you honor. Sometimes one of the things that make men to leave or to look outside is because they don't feel valued. It's because they are not honored. It's because they are not appreciated in their home. Every other person out there appreciates them, especially if you have a husband that is a boss or is a head of an organization, something like that. Every other person honors. Then when he comes to the house, it's different from his wife. Do you know that your honor is the most important in his life? Because for you, it was a choice to make. For the others, it was just an obligation. May your place not be taken by another, in Jesus' name.